Melbourne's Tobacco Wars. How a city was torn apart in chaos. Melbourne, a city famous for its art, cultural diversity, and innovation, hides a ruthless world beneath its busy streets, where crime is rampant.
Good morning, Mon. Well, a major manhunt is underway this morning for 3 arsonists. This happened at 4:50 this morning, so less than 2 hours ago. Police reported seeing 3 people pouring accelerant over this white van here.
Away from the beauty and bustling business scene, a shadow network has taken root, growing in power and complexity. Once famous for its culture, in recent years, the city has become a hub for illicit trade. The violent black cigarette. The methamphetamine trade has transformed Melbourne's crime scene. Illegal cigarettes, known as chops, have become a big deal. Smoking may seem harmless when compared to hard drugs, but it has proven to be a lucrative business for criminals. Its appeal lies in its extensive tax exemption, which makes it cheaper than legal cigarettes sold on the market and attracts many people facing the high cost of living. The results are astonishing when compared to traditional drugs. However, as profits have increased, so has competition, and these criminal organizations have become regional. Once confined to small businesses, the black market has become complex and dangerous. There has been an increase in firefights targeting tobacco houses and tobacco shops in the underworld city. What seemed to be a dispute over illegal smoking has turned into an all-out war, with shootings, torture, and murder. The involvement of organized crime groups, including motorcycle gangs and foreign organized crime, has increased. This group was business savvy, discovered tobacco was the new bull, and was eager to protect their capital. Turf wars broke out, pitting established local gangs against foreign powers trying to expand their spheres of influence. A tobacco shop in Melbourne's western suburbs was set on fire in what authorities later attributed to a dispute between rival gangs. The increasing frequency of such incidents has residents in affected areas fearing safety. The black tobacco trade is difficult to control not only because of its size, but also because of its overlap with other illicit trades. Authorities have found links between the tobacco industry and firearms, drugs, and even human trafficking. As the risks increase, so does the brutality of the participants. Measures aimed at reducing smoking and improving public health in the country include simpler packaging requirements and significant tax increases on tobacco products. While these laws have been successful in curbing smoking in Australia, they have had an unfortunate side effect: a thriving black market for illicit cigarettes. Removing health warnings from cigarette products and covering them with images makes the product unappealing, especially to young people and new smokers. As these laws were implemented, the government continued to increase cigarette taxes, leading to higher legal cigarette prices. Today, a pack of cigarettes in Australia costs over $40, making it one of the most expensive places in the world to smoke. However, the high cost of legal cigarettes places a heavy financial burden on those who are still addicted to nicotine, especially those on low incomes. Cigarettes have become prohibitively expensive for many people, forcing them to find cheaper alternatives. This low demand for tobacco products provides fertile ground for the growth of the black market. Smuggled tobacco includes cigarettes that are grown or exported illegally without paying the high taxes that legal manufacturers must pay. They are sold at a price well below the price of legal cigarettes, making them attractive to consumers who cannot afford real cigarettes. What started as a small business has become a large and profitable criminal enterprise. Many countries such as China, Indonesia, and parts of Eastern Europe have become major sources of this tobacco product. These smuggling networks are often linked to other crimes, such as drug and arms trafficking, allowing criminal organizations to share their knowledge and maximize their profits. Competition has been created as demand for cheaper, less responsible cigarettes increases. As a result, a wave of violent protests, including arson, shootings, and murders, have emerged as rival groups attempt to eliminate their competition and establish their dominance in the illicit smoking market. Tobacco shops, small businesses suspected of selling illegal products, and even private homes have been deliberately targeted. Sometimes, these fires warn off rival groups or business owners who refuse to cooperate with criminal organizations. The damage from these fires is extensive, causing property and psychological damage to the community. The smell of smoke and the sight of burnt-out buildings are familiar in some parts of Melbourne. Shootings have also become more suspicious. Drive-by shootings and assaults often occur in broad daylight, frightening residents. The spread of violence from back roads and commercial areas to more residential areas has created a sense of fear. While innocent residents have been injured in fires, others have been injured by stray bullets or forced to make mistakes in the fight. The constant threat of violence has left many residents feeling like they are living in a war zone. The shadow of crime now mars peaceful communities. Businesses, especially those suspected of involvement in the illicit tobacco trade, have become targets of threats and violence. Legitimate business owners who refuse to participate in the black market are often pressured or threatened, forcing them into precarious situations. Those who resist will have their property burned or destroyed. At the same time, the homes of those affiliated with these criminal groups are dangerous, putting entire families at risk. Area residents without a connection to the black market are caught in these conflicts. Once safe and welcoming communities began to fight, the sense of security in these communities was shattered. Fear now grips the streets of Melbourne as the battle for control of the tobacco industry intensifies, with many residents uncertain about their future. Tobacco explosion violence from illegal smoking. Special police forces have focused on destroying the criminal organizations responsible for the smuggling and distribution of illegal tobacco products. This unit has worked to investigate the black market and the conflicts and wars that occur. Unlike many other types of crime, the black tobacco industry involves local and international operations involving organized crime groups with national connections. Many of the criminal groups involved are also involved in other crimes, such as drug trafficking, arms trafficking, and money laundering, making them difficult for police to uncover. This multi-layered crime scene requires the cooperation of multiple law enforcement agencies, including state, federal, and customs agencies, and international cooperation with foreign authorities. One effective strategy is to target the supply chain that supports the black tobacco industry. Customs officers are stepping up efforts to crack down on illegal tobacco shipments at Australian ports, using technology such as X-ray scanners and joint intelligence to investigate and apprehend criminals. Separately, raids on warehouses and distribution centers across Melbourne have led to the seizure of millions of dollars worth of illegal tobacco products. The operation has helped remove illegal smokers from the city and has put a financial burden on criminal organizations. Melbourne's deep roots in organized crime, combined with the huge profits from the black tobacco industry, make it difficult for police to break up the mess. Crime groups have proven very powerful, adapting tactics to evade the law. For example, many crime groups operate through covert communications, using encrypted communication techniques and distributed systems to avoid detection. This makes it difficult for authorities to uncover real evidence against key figures in organized crime. A series of high-profile arrests in recent years have led to the dismantling of major crime syndicates involved in the black market. Police can also prosecute people involved in war-related crimes, bringing some criminals to justice. Residents and businesses are reporting suspicious activity related to the illicit tobacco trade. A public media campaign has been launched to highlight the dangers of illicit tobacco and black market violence. By encouraging community cooperation, police hope to gain valuable intelligence that will help them investigate and deter crime. In addition to direct violence and property damage, the illicit tobacco trade has had a profound and lasting impact on Melbourne communities. The underground war waged over profit and control of the lucrative black market not only directly affects criminals, but also innocent people caught in the fire. The conflict has gone beyond shootings, arson, and clashes to permeate the psychological and economic fabric of the city. They are subjected to violence by their victims. Although rare in Melbourne's quiet neighborhoods, drive-by shootings have become a horrific reality. In some cases, people with no connection to the underworld are shot and killed by stray bullets. These incidents send shockwaves through society, leaving families grieving their loved ones and communities gripped by fear. Residents of the areas most affected by the current conflict constantly fear what will happen next. The sound of gunfire at night, the sight of burning buildings, and the knowledge that violence could erupt at any moment create anxiety and stress. Parents fear for their children's safety, while local businesses in the community are also affected. Witnessing violence or experiencing trauma can lead to long-term psychological problems for many, including post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, depression, and anxiety. People growing up in areas where illicit tobacco use is particularly vulnerable to the psychological effects. Abuse at a young age can have long-term effects on their development and health. Schools in these communities report increased behavioral problems as children deal with the stress and trauma of living in a violent environment. The fear and conflict caused by the ongoing conflict have disrupted their education and weakened their security. Future generations will continue to bear the scars of this land war for years to come. The same goes for many local businesses, especially those suspected of involvement in the black market, that have become targets for organized crime. Fires, violence, and intimidation have caused many businesses to close permanently, leaving business owners with nothing and workers without jobs. The loss of these businesses directly impacts people and harms the local economy. Jobs have been lost, consumer confidence has been lost, and what was once a beautiful shopping center has been reduced to a desert with stores destroyed without warning by vandals. Legitimate businesses are under fire. Many residents are now afraid to leave their homes after dark. At the same time, foot traffic in the affected areas has decreased, reducing revenues for stores, restaurants, and other businesses in the village. In extreme cases, entire communities are economically devastated as the violence associated with illegal tobacco makes them unattractive to both businesses and consumers. It is difficult to reverse the long-term effects of this economic downturn and the expectations that plague these communities. While police and special forces play a key role in combating organized crime, the problem is multifaceted and deeply rooted in local and international situations. A comprehensive approach is essential to tackle not only the gangs operating in Melbourne's illicit tobacco trade, but also the underlying demand that drives this criminal economy. The problem goes far beyond gangs and smugglers. For many Australians, especially those on low incomes, legal cigarettes have become a luxury they cannot afford. As the government continues to impose strict measures to control smoking, such as using packaging and increasing taxes on tobacco products, the number of smokers has decreased. Still, the results are yet to show a vast underground market for untaxed, unregulated tobacco products. On the other hand, they are facing rising prices for legal cigarettes due to government taxes aimed at reducing smoking and improving public health. On the other hand, smoking cessation programs and nicotine replacement, where available, may not be effective or practical for everyone. The result is a growing demand for cheaper options that criminal organizations are more than willing to provide. Smuggled, counterfeit, and otherwise illegal tobacco products fill the streets of Melbourne, providing smokers with low but dangerous prices. Many people fail to realize that every dollar spent on illegal tobacco funds is causing violence, creating violence, and weakening communities. These black businesses may appear to be self-selecting based on affordability, but they are far from being victims. The money spent on unregulated tobacco not only funds the war on gangs, but also crime in general. From smuggling to local distribution, the underground tobacco industry supports a wide range of crimes. Unlike regulated tobacco products, which meet strict health and safety standards, the production and sale of illicit cigarettes are not monitored. This means that the ingredients in these products are often unknown, and consumers may face many more problems than with legal cigarettes. Public health initiatives that focus on the dangers of illicit tobacco use can help reduce demand by making consumers aware of the increased risk they face when choosing cheaper products. Educating the public that the products they buy are harmful to their health and cause social unrest can encourage consumer change. The unintended consequences of creating a profitable black market. The challenge now for policymakers is to find new strategies to further reduce the number of smokers without the illicit tobacco industry. This could include exploring a variety of options, such as expanding smoking cessation programs and making nicotine replacement therapy more flexible and accessible. For some smokers, the cost of quitting smoking is prohibitive, making them more likely to find a cheaper alternative rather than quitting altogether. While high tobacco taxes are an effective tool for public health policy, it would be appropriate to strike a better balance between health objectives and the unintended consequences of such taxes. A more cautious approach to tax increases or tax breaks for low-income smokers and increased investment in support for quitting smoking could reduce demand for the black tobacco sector. Addressing the illicit tobacco trade also requires international efforts. Most of the illicit cigarettes that end up on Melbourne streets are transported through sophisticated smuggling operations that originate in less powerful countries that have lower tobacco prices. Criminal organizations use these different routes to bring large quantities of tobacco into Australia, so Australian authorities need to work closely with international partners to disrupt these smuggling operations on the ground. Collaboration, such as intelligence sharing, joint investigations, and improved border management, is vital to preventing illicit tobacco products from entering the country in the first place. Strengthening border security and improving the ability to detect contraband will be critical factors in weakening the supply chain in Melbourne's underground tobacco market. These conditions often lead people to engage in crime, including smoking illegal cigarettes. If there is no financial opportunity, some people, such as those on lower incomes or those who are more involved, have no choice but to engage in illicit activities. Providing better education, job training, and employment to at-risk communities can help divert people from this path. Programs that support those involved in the illicit tobacco trade or other crimes can help break the cycle of violence and crime. Medical, legal, and social services designed to help people reintegrate into society are essential to reducing recidivism and preventing future generations from committing crimes together. The government can address some of the causes of the black market by giving people legal rights to engage in illegal activities.
Melbourne's fight against the illicit tobacco industry is a complex issue that requires multiple responses. The chaos and destruction caused by this land war has had a profound impact on individuals, families, and entire communities. From the psychological effect of living in fear to the economic impact of destroying local businesses, the cost of this conflict is staggering. While police efforts are essential to break up the criminal network and restore security, addressing the root causes of the illicit tobacco industry is equally important. Reducing demand for illicit goods through public health measures, rethinking government policies, and strengthening international cooperation will play a key role in stopping the violence and restoring peace to Melbourne's streets. With the continued efforts of all stakeholders, police, government agencies, and communities, Melbourne is expected to overcome this challenge and enhance its reputation as a safe, strong, and successful city. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more intriguing historical deep dives just like this one. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and share it with anyone interested in Melbourne's fascinating past. Your support means the world to us.